Hi guys, there are animals on Earth that migrate in numbers that are almost impossible to believe. Not hundreds or thousands, but millions or even billions of animals moving together as a single group. Some of them cover the roads of an island for weeks, forming a migration that stretches for as long as 40 kilometers. Here is a list of animals that migrate in the craziest numbers. In first place is the Christmas Island red crab, whose migration is one of the most spectacular natural shows on the planet, guys. Every year, more than 100 million red crabs travel from the rainforest to the coast to lay their eggs in the sea. This migration itself occurred on Christmas Island, a small island in the Indian Ocean located south of Indonesia. The roads all over the island can be completely covered by a layer of red crabs moving like a living carpet. Their striking red color makes the gray road surface turn completely red from end to end. There are so many of them that the Australian government even built special bridges so the crabs can cross the road safely. What's unique, guys, is that these crabs move in a very structured formation and follow the same path every year. They detect changes in humidity and the phases of the moon to determine the right time to start moving. And what's even more unique is that the journey from the forest to the beach can take up to 18 days. Each female crab can carry up to 100,000 eggs. And after laying eggs in the sea, the eggs will hatch into larvae that stay in the water for weeks before finally turning into tiny crabs. These tiny crabs then walk back to the forest and repeat the same cycle when they become adults. Unfortunately, the population of these crabs is threatened by invasive yellow ants, which have already wiped out a third of their population. These ants spray acid on the crabs and kill them en masse in the forest. And without serious conservation efforts, this spectacular migration could disappear from the face of the earth forever. Next is the Great Wildebeest Migration in the Serengeti, the world's largest animal migration. No less than 1.5 million wildebeest move in giant herds along with 400,000 zebras and 300,000 gazelles. They travel in a circular journey of 3,000 kilometers across the Serengeti Plains in Tanzania and the Masai Mara in Kenya. These herds can form a line as long as 40 kilometers, which is clearly visible from the air. Even from a distance, the wildebeest herds look like a black river flowing across the green grasslands. Their movement can even be heard from several kilometers away because the pounding of their hooves rumbles like a small earthquake. This migration occurs year-round in a circular pattern following the rainy season. When the dry season hits one area, the herd will move to another area that has just experienced rain to look for fresh grass. That way, they never stop moving because they're always chasing after available water and food. However, the most dramatic moment happens when the herd crosses the Mara River, which is filled with crocodiles, guys. Thousands of wildebeest will plunge into the river from steep cliffs, scrambling to get through the strong currents. Meanwhile, crocodiles that have been waiting for months will immediately attack from the water, making this crossing one of the most brutal sights in the wild. Interestingly, this migration involves more than 500,000 wildebeest calves born over the same 2-month period. Unfortunately, around 250,000 adult wildebeest don't survive the journey each year due to predators, exhaustion, and drowning. Next, there's the Sardine Run in South Africa, which is one of the craziest events in the ocean, guys. Every year from May to July, billions of sardines move north along the east coast of South Africa. Remarkably, these schools of fish can form lines that are visible from satellites and completely change the color of the seawater. Not only that, but billions of sardines trigger a very brutal food chain where are more than 18,000 dolphins. Thousands of copper sharks and hundreds of seals also move, following the school from behind. Meanwhile, from the air, Cape gannets and seagulls swoop down from above and large predators attack from below. This phenomenon occurs because billions of sardines spawn in the shallow waters of Bangagulhas at the southern tip of Africa. The eggs and larvae are then carried northward by the current, forming a very large and dense shoal. So, what makes the sardine run such an incredible spectacle? It's the feeding frenzy that happens when predators attack the school of fish, guys. The water, which was calm at first, can turn into a huge whirlpool filled with dolphins, sharks, seals, and birds, all hunting at the same time. What's unique, guys, is that this whole brutal event only lasts about 20 minutes before the sardine school scatters and the predators lose track. Because of this uniqueness, many divers from all over the world purposely come to South Africa every year to dive among these sardine schools. In fourth place is the monarch butterfly, which has the longest insect migration in the world. Every fall, millions of monarch butterflies fly from Canada and the United States to the pine forests in Mexico, covering a distance of 4,800 kilometers. And this is the only butterfly in the world that migrates both ways like birds. In the Oyamel Forest, Mexico, millions of monarch butterflies land on the trees until the branches break from the weight. A single tree here can be covered by tens of thousands of butterflies clinging to each other, forming an orange blanket that covers the entire surface. From a distance, the forest filled with butterflies looks like a forest whose leaves have turned a bright orange color. What makes this migration even more amazing is the fact that the butterflies arriving in Mexico are not the same ones that left from Canada. This 4,800-kilometer journey is completed by 4 different generations, where the first generation flies south and lays eggs along the way before dying, while the second generation continues the journey, and so on until they reach Mexico. They rely on the sun's position and the Earth's magnetic field as a natural compass for navigation, and this mechanism remains a big mystery for scientists because a butterfly's brain is only the size of a pencil tip. What's even more unique, guys, is that a special generation called the super generation can live up to 8 months. This is the generation that makes the journey back north after winter ends and travels the entire 4,800 kilometers on its own. In the 5th place, there's the spiny lobster or Caribbean spiny lobster, whose migration is one of the most structured in the animal world, guys. These lobsters move in a very neat single-file formation on the ocean floor, where they form a line that can consist of up to 50 lobsters walking one by one, following the lobster in front of them. It's not just a coincidence. This single-file formation is actually a very clever survival strategy. A lobster alone on the ocean floor is at risk of being preyed on by large fish and octopuses. When they move in a line, predators struggle to pick a target because there are so many packed closely together. This migration usually happens in the fall when storms start to disturb the shallow waters where they live. These lobsters detect changes in water pressure and temperature, then decide to move to deeper and calmer waters. What makes the spiny lobster unique is the way they navigate when they move. Research has found that spiny lobsters rely on the Earth's magnetic field to determine the direction of their journey. This ability is very rare in the invertebrate animal world and makes this lobster one of the most advanced natural navigators in the animal kingdom. At number 6, there's the Salmon Run in Alaska, which is one of the most heroic yet tragic events in the wild, guys. Every year, millions of salmon from various species swim upstream from the sea to the headwaters where they were born. In Alaska alone, the total number of salmon making this migration reaches more than 100 million every year. Not only that, during their journey swimming upstream, the salmon's bodies undergo very drastic physical changes. Their body color changes from silvery to bright red or pink depending on the species. Their lower jaws also curve into a hook shape, and a large hump made of connective tissue grows on their backs. These changes happen because salmon stop eating completely once they enter fresh water, where all the fat and energy reserves in their bodies are used up for swimming against the current and spawning. What makes the Salmon Run such a dramatic sight is the number of predators waiting for them along the river. Grizzly bears, bald eagles, and wolves gather by the riverbank to take advantage of this annual feast, where a single adult grizzly bear can catch up to 30 salmon per day during the migration season. Interestingly, guys, the salmon that manage to reach upstream to spawn will die within a few days. This phenomenon is called semelparity, which is a condition where a living creature reproduces only once in its lifetime and then dies. What's interesting is that the millions of decaying salmon carcasses along the river actually become the main source of nutrients for the vegetation and the surrounding forest ecosystem. At number 8, the emperor penguin endures the world's harshest migration, walking in temperatures as low as -60 degrees Celsius. Every winter, thousands of emperor penguins walk up to 120 kilometers from the sea to their breeding colonies in the middle of the Antarctic continent. Emperor penguins deal with the freezing temperatures by forming a huddle or a very tight group where thousands of penguins stand close together and lean on each other to share body warmth. And what makes this migration even more amazing is that the male penguins are responsible for incubating the eggs for a full 2 months. During this period, the male penguins don't eat at all and lose almost half of their body weight. In addition, the penguins take turns moving from the edge to the center so that everyone gets an equal share of warmth. This rotation system works automatically without any leader organizing it, and each penguin knows when to shift. There you have it. The 10 animals that migrate in the largest numbers in the world. I hope this information is useful and see you in our next interesting video.